Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Emo that guy today. I just for some reason I had my hair down and I was like, I'm just gonna roll with it today. We were looking like Robert Baratheon the other day. Today we're looking like we're just emo, right? Here we go. So I was going through and I saw this video from Ziziran about skipping campaigns in ARPGs, and I know that as a PoE last epoch, Diablo, soon to be PoE 2 player, the campaign sucks. And a lot of times, and I know Sunspirit will comment in the comment section about how he hates the campaign so much that he'll never make an alt because he hates the second half of the um, campaign skips. So I want to see what Zizarin's take is on why about campaign
Hi,
skips.
Ziziran here with
Hi,
another video,
Zizarin.
and today we're going to talk about
Zizaran has really, really nice hair. Zizaran has pretty good hair. Also, I feel like there needs to be more stuff in the background of this room. Like, it feels very strategically placed and kind of empty. Like, get more stuff on your walls. Get some shelves with some things.
campaign skip. We're going to compare Path of Exile, Diablo 4, and Last Epoch primarily. Now,
Okay.
campaign skip, if you're not familiar with it, is can you skip the campaign? And the three games have very
So right off the gate, like right off of the rip, my opinion is that after you have completed the campaign once, there should be a mechanism for you to skip the campaign with your additional characters. I feel like forcing players through the campaign multiple times is just a waste of time for most players. Now, I can accept like a half and half campaign skip, like in Diablo where you had to get the Lilith statues. Like if my power progression stays the same and I can just zip through the campaign. Now, a lot of times you'll see people like Jonathan from Grinding Gear Games talk about how oh well, you'll have gear and legendaries and stuff like that in order to skip through the campaign faster. And that's some copium. Like, you still have to go through the campaign. And let's be real, in PoE, nobody cares about the campaign. Most people don't care about the campaign the first time around, let alone the second or third or fourth or however many times that you have to do it in order for the ults that you want to play.
various different approaches to that, with Path of Exile not really having one, sort of. So I wanted just to, yeah, this is just going to be a thoughts video, me talking about how I feel about stuff like that, whether I think it's good for the game, good for what type of player, etc. So first, I want to
Okay, so if you're talking about like what kind of player, I don't think that any player benefits from no campaign skip.
talk about Diablo 4.
Just
In Diablo
true.
4, you do the campaign one time ever, ever, and you never ever have to do it again. And because of the nature of the game, now you are free to do it again if you want to, and if you really like the campaign, it is very well done. I would say it's the best part of Diablo 4, and
That's
if you want to
true.
do it again, you're free to. But because of the nature of the game, it is sort of competitive. If you're going at a slower pace, going through the campaign, and everybody else is power leveling in dungeons from level 1, you're already inherently at a disadvantage. Even if you're not competing, a lot of ARPG players feel like this. This is quite common.
So, but that is a personal thing, right? Like, I've never really understood that. Like, if you're not going for leaderboards or anything like that, like, who cares if other people are getting there fast, like to the end game faster? Who cares if other people are farming faster? Like, are you having fun type of deal? Like, that's like the biggest thing for me. And when people are like, oh, well, it's not fair that X, Y, and Z can, get this thing a little bit faster, blah, blah, blah. And, you're just kind of like who cares? It's just, especially too in single player games. Like, I've never understood competitiveness in single player games of like, oh well, this person's got an advantage over me if they play X, Y, and Z. I have to play the meta cuck build because, well, I'm gonna get like whatever. It'd be like imagine having to play the meta cuck build in like Cyberpunk 2077 because somebody else is clearing Cyberpunk faster than you.
And it's not everyone, but quite a lot of people, myself included, do. Even if I'm not competing, I don't want to be like 5 hours behind or 10 hours behind someone.
But why?
So you sort of do feel forced in
Like,
a way to
yeah,
skip the
but that's
campaign.
just you.
And for Diablo 4, this is a very odd one in my opinion. That's why I wanted to start with that because there isn't much else to the game right now. Like the game doesn't have like as much content as Last Epoch or Path of Exile or even Torchlight Infinite. It is a bit of a void in the endgame. That's why IGN's review was so funny to me, where they criticized the campaign for being bad and said it had a near perfect endgame. But that being said, I
Imagine imagine going by any gaming news sites review of anything, right?
actually think it's a bad thing for Diablo 4. Now, I do think there is actually quite a lot of inherent value in being able to skip the campaign, or massively speed it up for future characters past your first one. However, after having tried all the different ones, Path of Exile, Last Epoch, and Diablo 4, I really think that it's a very nice distinction, a very nice set difference in doing the campaign at the start of a season. I think Diablo 4 just
So, doing the campaign at the start of a season, I think is perfectly fine because a brand new season should cut you completely brand new. Like you should have a brand new fresh level 1 character at the beginning of the season. I don't mind having to do the campaign at the beginning of every season. Where I have a gripe is when I have to do the campaign on every character.
just by having to do the campaign once for each character, so like that you have to do it one time per season and then you skip it,
Yeah.
would be better. Now, I might be incredibly out of touch here because Diablo 4's player base is very, very different. It is a lot more casual. It is a lot less grindy than even Last Epoch, but also
Well,
especially Path of Exile. So the
because
more casual you
yeah.
are, the less you are going to want to deal with things like that, right? Like people that only have 30 minutes to play every day, or 4 hours a week or something, they might not want to waste time during the campaign. But I've talked about this quite a lot on stream, and a lot of people said like, yeah, doing it once makes sense. You
Yeah.
get that like nice, sets it apart from the rest of the game, because with the current state of the game, it becomes very monotonous, right? You're already in the end game at level 10 and nothing really changes. You get some character changes, but you're already in the end game loop from the start. So that means that most people I've been talking to are getting anywhere like 10 to 50 hours out of a Diablo season because of that. Should you artificially increase that with the campaign? I don't know. I personally, after having played all of them, I do think having that season start is a really, really nice vibe. Seeing where in the campaign you are, and getting that different playstyle, and then you get to the end game and you're like, oh cool, now we're gonna do dungeons. I haven't really been doing that except for getting an aspect here and there. And then Path of Exile has none of this. From
Yeah.
time to time, Path of Exile has had items that will make you go through the campaign faster. You do have things like Seven League Step. You've had Delve Gloves in the past. They were triple elemental damage gloves that didn't go to hit, didn't go to spell. It went to global damage, so it would even affect your heralds or things like Abarat's hooves. And they were very popular to level with. And there's been loads of like fun leveling items like that, and they've been generally well received in Path of Exile. And the campaign is also quite short in Path of Exile for a speedrunner. Like the Diablo 4 campaign is probably the longest, so for what I suggest of having it once per season, it probably is also the least suitable for that because it is so long. But Path of Exile's campaign, I think 1 hour 30 minutes is the speedrunning record. So
Okay,
that
yeah,
can
but
be
we're
very short
all
when you are very
yeah.
fast at it. I'm not.
Hold on. Get That's some copium, bro. Like, yeah, the world record is like an hour. Man, especially like casual Andes, like I'm not fast at the campaign at all. Other PoE like veterans will get it in, a couple of hours, 4 or 5 hours or whatever. But like, bro, come on. Don't even cope and be like, well, the speed running world record is like an hour or something, so it can be fast. Yeah, if you've played the campaign 7,000 times, you know where everything is and is optimized. Like,
Saying that
come
most
on.
people are doing that, obviously. For most people, it takes anywhere between 3 and 10 hours for regular
Okay, there
players.
we
And then
go.
the more casual you are, you get up to something like, if you are a professional game reviewer, it's closer to 72 hours, I believe was IGN's time during.
What? 72 hours for the campaign for IGN? Bro, what are you doing? I'm pretty sure you could have the most copium terrible build. Like, are you just AFKing for like 3 hours at a time between every act?
The campaign. That aside, obviously that can be like quite a chore for every single character. And then we have Last Epoch, which is in the middle ground. Actually, not even in the middle ground. And technically, in Last Epoch, you never ever have to finish the campaign, not even the first time you're playing the game, which is really interesting. What you can do is you can actually do a campaign skip. As early as level 15, you will get access to something called the End of Time, which is the endgame monolith system, which is similar to dungeons from Diablo 4 and does have that whole like repetition thing. Now, obviously, it is more diverse than the dungeons, and there's, you have the blessings and the legendary potential chase. The item chase is more exciting, which breaks up the monotony of the game. But it actually does run into a lot of the same problems that Diablo 4 does, which is why a lot of people are excited about the next patch of Last Epoch, bringing in Uber's like endgame content is what they promised. So that'll be very exciting to
That'll be
break up
good.
that monotony. But yeah, even from what I understand, the first time you
Yeah,
play the game, you
I
don't
did
have
this
to
with
finish the
like my second
campaign.
and
You
third character
can
in Last
level up in
Epoch.
the End of Time monoliths. From level 15 on softcore, generally on hardcore, I've been going anywhere from level 30 to 32 because you are still fighting level 58 enemies. They're very dangerous. And that obviously gets easier on your second and third character because you have some spare gear lying around that's
Yeah,
just very powerful, as well as legendary items and things like that. So that's very cool. I think that's a very good approach for people that do want to like get through the campaign there. But you can then go back in the campaign through a dungeon skip, and you just have to complete the last act, Act 9. You have to do 3 quests there for your idols and for your passives, and they're
yep.
all conveniently located in Act 9. I actually sort of misspoke a little bit in the video I made where I said you had to go back to Act 8, but you can actually do it all in Act 9 by going to the town to the left and the town to the right. And boom, you are ready. You've finished. You'll probably be like level 65, 70 because you over leveled quite a bit while doing this just so you can plow through
Yeah,
everything.
you go
And that's
real
what I've been
real
doing. Just
fast.
leveling to 70 and boom, done. Go back to the quests, get everything I need, kill Majasa, get the +1 skill points. I basically spent an hour or two, maybe 3, if that. And I'm doing this quite slowly. I'm still learning. But yeah, you're spending an hour or two in the campaign, and then the rest you're in monoliths, leveling up. You're having that fun endgame loop that a lot of people prefer in ARPGs
Yeah.
instead. And that I think is an interesting solution. Personally, for a long time, I was very against even the very notion of skipping the campaign. And I've always preferred new characters should be exciting enough with things like legendary potential items. I think Last Epoch does the best job at that.
Okay.
That's what Diablo 4 does really badly, in my opinion. My favorite thing in an action role playing game like this is when I'm playing a sorcerer or a barbarian, and I got this feeling in Diablo 2 a lot, and I find an item on one character that is super exciting for another character. I'm like, dude, this is
True.
so good for a barbarian. I'm a sorcerer right now,
Yeah,
but
and the
this
thing is like Last Epoch does that really really well because there's a lot of items that is like, oh, it's, turns things into squirrels or something like that, or oh, this set bonus, like, it works for an acolyte or something along those lines. So I think that, like, from an ARPG standpoint, I don't mind. Like, I wish that it would be weighted more towards the class that you're playing, but you also still have the chance to like find stuff for alts, right? Like, I don't like when it's just like it's just for like this character. Like, you only get, acolyte items. You only get rogue items. Like, sometimes I think, especially in a game with like any sort of training, like having the overlap is definitely important.
makes me want to play a barbarian. Diablo 4 has none of that. It has never ever happened. I only have like 500 hours in the game, but in that time, it has not happened once that I've
I like that he's just like casually like, oh well, I've only got 500 hours.
found an item like, oh, I need to roll a druid. Because they've taken smart loot too far. Last Epoch does that the
Agreed.
best, where you get that really, really strong like leveling items with the legendary potential system. If you don't know how it works, you basically get to take a unique, take a rare item, smash them in, and if you're doing that on a leveling unique, it does not go up in level but becomes super powerful. So now suddenly I have a new build which I'm one-shotting. It just feels ridiculous. And it doesn't matter because it's just the campaign that you're strong in,
Yeah.
right? So it's completely great. And it just makes you feel like you're cheating. It gives you all that good vibe of what you really want to give an ARPG player. You want to make you feel like, I broke the game. I've completely busted the
The
game.
power
This is so
fantasy.
broken.
Yeah, that's
And,
a
if
lot of
this was an
people want.
endgame build, you're like, wow, this is getting nerfed next season. But you get that great feeling while leveling. And that takes a lot of those pain points away from it and instead turns it really exciting. So I think Last Epoch's hit a really nice middle ground between the two here. Um, I don't think Path of Exile needs a full level skip or a campaign skip, but I think there are a lot of quality of life things you could do, like the waypoints being unlocked on every character past the first one. Um, Honestly, I'm a lot less against letting people alternatively level and delve on a second character. I no longer think there's a massive reason to do the campaign on every single character. I think it's imperative for Path of Exile, especially, that you do have that breakup on the first character. I would be very against like the campaign being a thing you do one time only in PoE. I don't think it suits the game at all.
No,
Um,
I
I don't know
dislike.
if
I
other people feel the
disagree.
same, but I think honestly, League Start going through the campaign so much fun. Like on every
Yeah, so I think like in PoE, like yes, on League Start you should go through once, and then there should be a mechanism to skip whatever it is afterwards. Something level in Delve, level in Blight, level in something else. But like, I really, really, really don't think that you should have to go through the campaign because it's a slog. It's a slog to get through all of the campaign. Like last Epoch's campaign, like I can just zoom through it. Like I leveled up through the campaign on 3 characters in beta. The I did the campaign on the first character when the game came out, and then I skipped on the subsequent 2. Which was just way, 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 way better. Um, so yeah, like I think that I would make more characters in PoE if I could just skip the campaign. Usually I make 2 max, and then that is it is what it is. Sometimes I'll do 3 because usually I'm going to make a righteous fire build for farming. I'm going to make a zombie build for farming, and then I'll make something for fun, like something I want to learn that season. But I mean, I'm always going to make a necromancer at the end of the day just for AFK blight farming. But yeah.
every League Start, my first character going through the campaign, an absolute blast. I absolutely love it. Would never want to skip that. But I think they should work on making your 7th and 10th character, etc. Like there are people that make so many characters, and I don't think they have enough. But what I do think they should do is for people that are going to their like 7th and 2nd and 3rd whatever character, they should make it better for those, because I don't think Path of Exile does enough of that right now. I don't
I like that he goes from 7th to 2nd and 3rd. Like, that's a really, really big jump. But like I said earlier in the video, like, whenever this is brought up, like, Jonathan always just copes out and goes, well, you've got better gear, and you know where it's at. Like, you know where everything's at, and you've got better gear, so that makes it easier. And it's like, nah, it's still a time sink,
don't
brother.
think making new characters level up, like maybe not even your second, but like once you're getting some endgame things, letting your 3rd or 4th character level up really fast, I see that as an all around win. It means that somebody has something they want to do on a new character, they're investing into it to level faster.
Yeah.
They just want to play the game. They just want to try out new things.
Right.
And I think that's an all around good thing. Now, I do realize that there are problems with making things too easy in a game. Like, if you make, if you just start, let's throw in some hyperbole for good measure, right? If you started the season, you
Hyperbole.
had a mage blood, you have everything you needed, you just import everything from Path of Building, right? Like, this is a very extreme example. I realize it's stupid, but like, the point I'm trying to iterate, there is so much is too far, right? You can get and give too many things. There's probably one guy sitting like, that'd be great. I don't want to grind anything. Path of Exile for me feels the best when you have a clear goal that you're grinding towards and it feels achievable. Every season that has achieved that, whether that's been last day where it's just, you're getting so much stuff, you can have some really hefty goals, or other seasons, but just every season that achieves that where I have a clear goal, I'm grinding towards it, this is what I'm working towards, and it feels achievable. That's always what makes the game feel good. Whenever it's like, well, the next step is X item, whether it's a mage's blood or whether it's a mirror worthy item, and it just feels so far away, you're like very quickly losing interest, or you get that item and you're like, well, now there's nothing left for me. So it is a hard thing to balance, but I do think Path of Exile should move slightly towards looking at more like campaign options. Now, obviously, the PoE2 campaign is going to address a lot of this, but I don't think you can make a good enough campaign where it doesn't feel like that. Because, yeah, I really like don't think what they want can be done. Because they've said if people still feel like they want a campaign skip after PoE2, like we've failed, I just don't know if that's possible, that we
Yeah, I
won't
don't
feel
think
like that.
that's I don't think that's this right cuz I mean, people are going to want a campaign skip regardless. Like you're going to get to a point where it's like I want to farm this end game thing. So as good as the campaign is, as smooth as the campaign is, as much as like you think that the campaign is really good, like yeah, like you need to be able to just get there because people just don't want to spend that time, man.
Because these are games where you're doing this 100 times. Like, I don't even know how many times I've done the campaign. It must have been over 1,000, maybe
Yeah.
somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000. I think right now I have 140 characters, and that's just from the past 2 or 3 leagues. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I definitely think Last Epoch has a very good middle ground. I think Diablo 4 went too far. Maybe it's good enough or okay for very casual players. I think Path of Exile can do a little bit more there where it comes to like skipping stuff. I just wanted to make a video about some thoughts. I have a
I
lot,
agree.
a lot of thoughts. Hopefully, you
Yeah,
guys enjoy the videos. Let me know
it
if you
was
want
good.
more like thoughts videos. If there's any other things you want my thoughts on, I do have a lot of thoughts. So thanks.
Sometimes though, like Ziziran's thoughts are weird as like somebody who again has like just casually drops 500 hours into a game and then says only 500 hours. I also think that like there's a lot of things because he plays solo self found hardcore, and not really like trade or anything like that. And I think that there's like some takes that Zizaran has on the games that are a little like out of touch because he is a streamer. And I also think that like a lot of times streamers don't necessarily have. Whoa, whoa! There's a cat outside. Um, but oh man, hold on. Okay, well he's not gonna stop, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Overall, I think it was a good video. I think that personally, like I said earlier, I think the campaign skip should definitely be a thing. I think that they just, after your first character, like even if nothing else, like with the Lilith statues, you make it's things like that, right? Your power progression needs to just stay there. Like even if I'm forced to do the campaign, if I have to do like side things, like one thing that Path of Exile did was like you don't have to continue to go through and get the labyrinth stuff for your ascendancies and stuff like that. So that's good. But all right, homies. Well, I'm gonna go because he's gonna keep barking. Actually, I think somebody's shooting. Who was shooting at my house at 11:18 in the morning on a Tuesday? I don't know. This video is going to go up tomorrow, so you'll be like, wait, what did he say? It's Tuesday? It's Wednesday. What is he talking about? Anyways, guys, I'll catch you later. If you like this, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy, homies. Peace out.